Welcome to this video about healing shame. Internal Family Systems was developed by Schwartz about 20 years ago. When we experience shame, we often recognise that the shame speaks to us almost in a voice, and that voice can be critical, it can be angry, and can take all sorts of different forms. But typically our reaction is one of horror and repulsion and quite often anger towards these critical voices. So internal family systems therapy suggests that rather than blocking out and shutting down those voices, we try and understand them, almost give them a voice and end up having a dialogue with them as a way of reducing the suffering they cause. Essentially, it understands that these feelings of shame and critical voices are often a protective reaction to traumatic childhood experiences. And when we look at them this way, it might be possible to understand what self-protective purpose they originally served for us. And by understanding them in that light, instead of just shutting them down or shying away from them as quickly as possible, we can start to understand them and even have a relationship with them, as bizarre as that may seem. But this way, by having a compassionate relationship with these parts of us, it's much more likely that we're going to be able to get them to understand that they have been heard and that we maybe don't need to be led by them anymore. IFS have several different parts that they explain. Firstly, there are exiled parts that we're trying to shut out because of pain, shame, fear and trauma. Next we have manager parts, which are parts that try and govern how we interact with the outside world and how we can keep a lid on painful feelings. We also have firefighter parts. Firefighters rush in when exiles break out and demand attention. When we engage in compulsive and addictive behaviours, these could be understood as being firefighting parts. They're used to quickly smother difficult experiences. We also have the part that is the self, the core of us. The self contains qualities such as leadership and perspective and confidence and compassion and acceptance. Part of IFS therapy is to differentiate the self from these other parts, allowing it to be used to heal the parts from their extreme roles. So what strikes me as so interesting about IFS as a way of healing shame is that instead of experiencing thoughts of shame as being something to quickly shut down or shut out or have an angry response with, we can actually engage with this part of us from a place of compassion and healing and have a chance to understand where it came from and how we can hear its caution and alarm without experiencing it as overwhelmingly painful. It really feels like a path to healing. As usual, I'll provide links to various resources in the comments section below.